Welcome to another lecture of engineering material. In this video, we'll be studying about the iron carbon diagram. So let's start the lecture. Before studying the iron carbon diagram, let's discuss some of the types of reactions. First of all, we have the eutectic reaction, which we studied in the previous lecture of phase diagrams, in which one liquid is transformed into two different separate solids. You can see over from here that one liquid phase is converting into two solid phases, which is alpha and beta, and when cooling. Okay. Next, we have a peritectic reaction in which one solid uh, phase alpha and one liquid phase, which is L, are converting into a single solid substance, solid phase, which is beta. So this reaction is called peritectic reaction. Then we have a monotectic reaction in which two separate liquid phases are involved. So you can see over here that one liquid phase is converting while cooling into another liquid phase and a solid phase which is alpha. Okay, so there are two liquid phases involved over here. Then very popular, the eutectoid reaction, in which one solid is converting into two different types of solid phases. You can see that this gamma phase is converting into alpha and beta phase on cooling. And then we have the peritectoid reaction, which is the reverse of the eutectoid reaction, in which two solid phases, alpha and beta on cooling, are converting into the gamma phase, which is also a solid. Okay, so these are very common reactions in phase diagram, which we'll be studying, and in this video we'll be doing the iron carbon diagram. So this is a particular iron carbon diagram in which you can see that iron is the solvent in which carbon is being dissolved, which is a solute. So this diagram is up to 6.7% of carbon. So in this diagram we can see several phases. First of all, the liquid phase, you can see over here in this area, this is all the liquid phase. Then we have the delta phase. You can see this phase is delta, and this phase would be liquid plus delta again, and this would be liquid plus this austenite. This is the austenitic phase. This is a solid phase. Okay, and this is the liquid plus austenite, because we have liquid, we have austenite on the left and liquid on the right. So this phase would be the alpha plus gamma plus liquid phase. And this is the cementite line, which has 6.7% of carbon. So this phase would be liquid plus cementite, which is Fe3C. We call this structure as cementite Fe3C. Then this phase, this is the the eutectic composition, 4.3% of carbon, and you can see that this liquid is converting into two solid phases, which is austenite and Fe3C. The gamma phase, which is called as austenite, and you can see that this phase on the eutectoid composition, that is 0.76% of carbon, is converting into alpha, and Fe3C cementite. Alpha is called ferrite and Fe3C is called cementite. And here you can see that this is the alpha phase, which is called the ferrite, and this phase is alpha plus austenite, which is the gamma phase. Okay, so we'll be discussing the reactions which we studied earlier in the previous slide throughout this diagram. Okay, so next let's discuss some important reactions in the iron carbon diagram, uh, in which you can see over here that this is the peritectic reaction, in which one solid and one liquid is converting into another solid. So this is the the delta plus liquid region. This region you can see the pointer, and that is converting into austenite. So this is the peritectic reaction. Then we have the eutectic reaction, which we studied in the previous lectures as well, the phase diagram lectures. So in this composition, you can see that the liquid is converting into uh, austenite and cementite, and this the eutectoid reaction, which is at 0.76% of carbon, in which the austenite phase is converting into alpha and cementite, which is ferrite and cementite. Okay, so this is again the iron carbon diagram. You can see the liquid phase, you can see the austenitic phase, which is in the blue, and the eutectoid and the eutectic reactions have been marked over here. You can see that this is the eutectic reaction, in which we'll be getting the lamellar structure of the gamma and cementite. But over here in the eutectoid composition, you can see that gamma is converting into ferrite and cementite. We're getting the lamellars of, or the alternating layers of, alpha and cementite. In this, cementite is the hard phase and the alpha ferrite is the softer phase. So this phase is basically called pearlite. You can see the microstructure at 120 micrometers. Over here, you can see that this is the lamellar. The darker phase is the cementite phase, the FeC, and the lighter phases of the ferrite. Okay, so this is called the eutectoid point. The eutectoid temperature is 727 degree centigrade, and the eutectoid composition is the 0.76% carbon. In some books they take the eutectoid composition as 0.8% too. Okay, so let's move forward. Let's as we studied hypoeutectic and the hypereutectic reactions in the previous lecture, the part 2 of the iron carbon, sorry, the part 2 of the phase diagrams lecture. So now we have a hypoeutectoid steel. Okay, so let's discuss steel first of all. So up till 2% of the carbon we'll be having steel, and after 2% of the carbon the strength of the steel would be reducing, and after 2% it would be called as cast iron. So from 0.3% to maximum of 1.8% or to 2% carbon, we usually have steels. Okay, so we have hypoeutectoid steels and we have hypereutectoid steels. Okay, so for hypoeutectoid steels, you can see that this is the eutectoid composition of 0.76, and it would be on the left hand side from 0 to 0.76 would be of the hypoeutectoid steel. So if we discuss the microstructures of this hypoeutectoid, so you can see that there is the austenite phase, which is homogeneous, and this is a solid phase. So there is no liquid phase, as we discussed in the phase diagram lecture. This is all the solid phase, the austenite phase, and while cooling it down to this line, okay, so this is the alpha plus austenitic phase. So you can see that these small sea green dots, which are of the pro-eutectoid ferrite, that is the alpha region. The pro-eutectoid or the primary alpha phase plus ferrite, and when further cooling down, you can see that this pro-eutectoid ferrite is being grown, and there is pearlite, which is alternating layer of cementite and ferrite. So this broader sea green grain is of the pro-eutectoid alpha phase, and the other lamellars of the red and the green ones are of the red ones are of cementite, and the sea green one are of the ferrite. So this is called as the hypoeutectoid steel, in which you will be having the pro-eutectoid alpha or the ferrite phase. All right. So if you want to uh, derive the composition of the alpha and the cementite phases, so what you can do is you can just calculate these phases from the lever rule, because we have discussed the lever rule in the previous lecture. So if you don't know the limit rule, you should go and watch the video, phase diagrams part 1 and part 2. Okay. So if you want to, here you want to find the composition of the alpha and the cementite phase. So what you'll do, you'll just draw a tri-line. Okay, and this is called the S, the brown one, and the blue one is the R. If you want to calculate the percentage of alpha, so what you'll do is you'll divide the S by R plus S, the whole tri-line. And if you want to find the percentage of fraction of the cementite, you will just subtract it from 1, or you can find it from by dividing R upon R plus S. Okay, so you can easily calculate the composition of the two phases of ferrite and cementite. Okay, similarly you can do it for the hypereutectoid seals, uh, which have compositions greater than the the eutectoid seals. On the eutectoid seal you just get perlite, but on the hypereutectoid part, that is up to 2% of carbon, you will be getting the proeutectoid cementite phase. You can see that this is the proeutectoid uh, phase growing at this stage. Sorry. So this is this is the austenitic phase, and while cooling it to this region, you will be getting austenite plus cementite. So we will be getting the proeutectoid cementite, which as you can see is started nucleating, and these nuclei are growing on cooling. And after this line, this 727, the eutectoid temperature, below that you can see that the lamellars are have been appeared from austenite to that of the cementite and ferrite, but there is still the proeutectoid ferrite, uh, which is in the microstructure. So you can see here over in the figure as well that these lighted lines are of the uh, proeutectoid proeutectoid cementite, and all the other lamellars of the perlite, which consist of ferrite and cementite. Okay, so this is the similar case which we discussed in the hypoeutectic and hypoeutectoid reactions. You should know how to draw the microstructures and how to calculate the amount of phases present in this. Again, if you want to calculate these phases at each temperature, you can just use lever rule to find out the exact amount of uh, composition. Okay, so let's just go through the whole diagram once and for all. So you can see that up to 2% we have, to 2% carbon we have steel, in which below 0.83, or you can say below 0.76 in some books, it's hypoeutectoid, and above 0.83 it is hypereutectic, and after 2% it is cast iron. Just for information, if we increase the carbon content, the strength of the steel is increasing. However, after 2% of after adding carbon beyond 2%, the strength is the strength gets decreases. The strength decreases because the carbon changes its structure to graphite, and it starts forming graphite. So the strength of the steel is decreasing. So now it won't be called a steel; it would be known as cast iron. So these are several phases discussed in the iron carbon diagram. You can see the liquid phase, the austenite and liquid phase, the austenite, the whole austenite phase, the austenite and alpha phase, the austenite and cementite phase. This is the pure pearlite. This is the pearlite with uh, the proeutectoid ferrite, and this is the pearlite with proeutectoid cementite. So we have written ferrite and pearlite, and here we have written cementite and pearlite. So this cementite is proeutectoid and this ferrite is proeutectoid as well. And then we have several other phases of cast iron. So let's also discuss the delta region. This is this region is zoomed in for you guys. This is this smaller portion of delta ferrite. So you can see that this is delta ferrite. This is the liquid plus delta ferrite. This is the liquid plus austenite, and this is the austenitic. So here we have the reaction of liquid plus gamma is converting into austenite. Okay. So just for information, the iron we have in the ferritic region. Let's just discuss the ferritic region first, and then I'll come back to my point. So this is the ferritic region, and this is the ferrite plus pearlite region. You can see that this is 0.006% carbon. It is very zoomed in for you. This is the austenite phase, and this is the very small austenite and ferrite phase. Okay. Okay. So from this diagram, you can see that we have three phases of iron, which is ferrite, which is alpha, which is so one austenite, which is the gamma phase, and one is the delta phase. So the delta phase has BCC structure, which is body centric cubic. The gamma austenitic phase has the FCC structure, and the alpha ferrite has BCC structure as well. So you can see the allotropy while we heat the iron with particular amount of carbon in it to a certain temperature, so it shows different structures, and that is the allotropy of iron observed in this diagram. Also for your information, that alpha ferrite is magnetic in nature and delta ferrite too, but the gamma austenite is not magnetic in nature. Okay. So coming back to this slide, this is the austenitic to ferrite cementite transformation in relation to the iron carbon diagram. You can see that this is the eutectoid composition at 0.8% carbon, in which you can see the whole austenite structure is converting directly into the pearlite structure. So you don't need to worry about these lines. These are just grain boundaries, not the hypoeutectoid phase. But in the hypoeutectoid phase, you can see that the austenite is converting into uh, uh, is first converting into is first having the proeutectoid ferrite phase, which is the lighter region. You can see this region is the proeutectoid ferrite region, and then it is converting into pearlite. So the other lamellars are comprised of all the pearlite. Similarly, in the hypereutectoid phase, you can see the austenite is first nucleating the the proeutectoid cementite phase, which is the darker one in the black, and then after further cooling, we can observe that all the austenite is converting into the pearlite lamina. Okay, so influence of other alloying elements. So the if we add some certain alloys to the iron carbon chemistry, we can have some different eutectoid temperatures and composition. So if you are adding titanium, or if you're adding molybdenum, silicon, or tungsten, so what is happening over here, that the eutectoid temperature is increasing from 727 to above. Okay, so if we add around 1% of titanium, you can see that the eutectoid temperature is going up to around 1200 degree or 1250 degrees centigrade. And if you're adding chrome, if you're adding manganese or nickel, you can see that it reduces the eutectoid temperature. Furthermore, if we discuss the eutectoid composition, which is around 0.76, or in other books 0.8 or 0.83. So if we are adding these alloying elements as such as nickel, chromium, silicon, molybdenum, so you can see that it reduces the eutectoid compositions to around less than 0.8% to around 0.2%, on around to some of around 0.3% in case of silicon. and manganese. So these are the effects or impacts of the alloying elements to the eutectoid composition and temperature. And adding these alloying elements, we would have some other impacts to the iron carbon chemistry, the steel chemistry, which we'll be discussing in some other lecture. Alright, so that was it about the iron carbon diagram. Thank you.